Good morning. My name's Sanjiv Dodhia. I'm a business growth specialist with Action Coach. And this morning, I'm really pleased to have a conversation with Saaher from Backup Everything to learn more about his entrepreneurial journey. How are you this morning, Saaher?
Morning, Sanjiv. Yeah, all good. Thanks very much.
Fantastic. Thanks for making the time and joining us. So Saaher, to help our audience, could you share a little bit about what you do, what market you serve, and your proposition and how you got there?
Yeah, sure, no worries. So I've been in the cloud since 2008, so almost 15 years now. I started my own business, Backup Everything, literally about 8 years ago in 2014. So 8, 9 years ago now. And all we do is we protect businesses' data, whether it's servers or cloud to cloud, for example, Microsoft 365. It's basically data protection. And yeah, it's going well. And yeah, it says business is growing on a daily basis.
Fantastic. And is it UK only or global?
Yeah, so we're a UK-based company, but we have customers all around the world. So we have in USA, in Europe, Mexico. Actually, one of our first resellers was in Israel, in fact. So it's a global company, and we have about 4,000 customers across the globe. We have many resellers, about 100 resellers. And yeah, it's all going well.
Super, great. And Saaher, what is it that stands out in terms of your value proposition when compared to other providers and your competitors?
Yeah, I think it's quite funny to answer that. I mean, the business is called Backup Everything. So a lot of people just find us because they simply want to back up everything. So that's the first kind of foot in the door. In terms of us, I mean, there's many backup providers out there. I mean, you just go to Google and search this, but probably the key thing that stands us out is we're quite transparent in what we do in terms of the pricing model and what we charge and also what we buy from our suppliers. So we're very transparent in that sense. And also it's a very no-nonsense approach in the sense we have a variety of solutions and we just give you the best fit. We're not here to sort of sell you the solution because at the end of the day, you need to back up your data. It's quite a serious thing for businesses to have. So especially during the pandemic, we were slightly immune to what was going on because businesses couldn't take the chance of sort of canceling a service for data backup. So I guess in that sense, we just tell it as it is to our customers and tell them which solution they should go for.
Great, fantastic. So what inspired you to get into this, Saaher? What was your kind of journey to?
Yeah, I think the journey was I was working for a business before. So in 2008 is when I started. I worked for a kind of a multinational company, a global company. And then it kind of stemmed from that, the interest in the cloud and trying to protect people's data. I remember at that time I lost data as well from my own computer. So it was like, oh, I should have backed this up. So it's just small things that happen, and it's something that Steve Jobs always used to say. You can only connect the dots after it's happened, not kind of before. You can't predict the future. So when you start connecting what's going on, what's happened in your life sort of before, you're like, oh, I lost the data there, and now it's come to this. So it's really strange how kind of the life path takes you. But it all started from a data loss incident, in my own personal life, and that just built up from there, really.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you. So what's your journey been like to date?
Yeah, today it's been good. I mean, we are mainly channel focused. So 90% of our business is through the channel. So we have many dedicated and loyal resellers who've been with us for many, many years. They just keep adding on customers, almost on a daily basis or weekly basis. But I see the biggest shift at the moment is towards Microsoft 365, especially in the last 2 years. I mean, this is not kind of private news. Even Microsoft tell everyone in their terms and conditions, you've got to back up your data. So what we're seeing, is a shift to people wanting to back up their users for Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive. So that is where we are today. And this is only going to get bigger and bigger. The servers and desktops, of course, that side of the business is still there, but we're seeing more shift towards cloud to cloud.
But what about your journey as a business owner? What's that been like?
Yeah, so when I started my own business Backup Everything in 2014, yeah, it was tough. I mean, like every entrepreneur will tell you that. But I think the key thing is before you start a business, you've got to have some knowledge of the business you want to start. So, for example, there's no point me starting in a fast food chain. Yeah, I love food, but I don't know anything about the industry. you've got to have some, and this is something that actually Richard Branson said in an interview I saw many, many years ago. Do something that you know something of and figure it out later on. So I thought, well, because I was already in the backup business, I sort of knew what this industry was like. It just built up from there. So from an entrepreneurial point of view, that's the path I chose. And as you're on your own, you literally do everything yourself, right? So when I first started, it was kind of the calling and the marketing and the accounts. And as you go on and get bigger, then you have other people to kind of help you do that.
Good advice. And what would you say are the biggest challenges that you've overcome?
The biggest challenge is, well, competition is always there, because when you, especially in this industry, you're protecting people's data. So the biggest thing is, why should someone who's found you on a Google search trust you when there's been people doing this for years and years? So the challenge is always trying to make people trust you, and also tell them, and I think transparency and honesty is the key. There's nothing wrong with any business telling a customer, listen, we've only been in business for 6 months or 1 year. We've done this. We're getting to this particular junction in maybe in a year or two, but feel free to join us, or maybe come back to us. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the mistake a lot of entrepreneurs do is kind of oversell themselves and make them look bigger than they actually are. And customers aren't silly. They'll see right through that. So yeah, you might lose customers, but you'll get that integrity and honesty with you. And you'll be surprised how many people come back to you after maybe 1 or 2 years to use your services, because you've been honest with them from the start.
Okay, great. And any lessons that you can share in terms of your biggest learnings? That maybe 1 or 2 things that personally you've.
Yeah, I think with anyone starting a business, it's all about customers, getting the right customers and getting them to, like I said earlier, to trust in you. I think the biggest thing here I would say is, just don't give up. I mean, just keep at it, keep, pushing yourself. You've started on the journey because you had some belief in yourself. So entrepreneurship is not easy. It's only for certain people, but the rewards are greater than the risks. That's for sure. Just keep at it. And like I said, I mean, look at, Steve Jobs. I keep giving that example because some of his quotes and work is fantastic. He was nothing. And you see all these funny stories of how people started in a bedroom and a garage and built up from there. Just give it time. Don't, it will happen. Just give yourself time. Just do the right things. This notion of, oh, you've got to work 23 hours a day and all that. Yeah, okay, fine. But I mean, give yourself a break, treat yourself from time to time, and it will happen eventually.
So you're saying enjoy the journey and persist.
Yeah, the classic example here is never enjoy the ride. Don't enjoy the destination. This is a term that's always used in entrepreneurship. Enjoy what you're doing. Don't focus on the end goal. The end goal will come. If you start focusing on, oh, I need the end goal today, I want it tomorrow, you'll never enjoy the whole process. Enjoy the process. Things will follow after that.
I like that. So what does the future look like for you and Backup Everything?
The future is, yeah, at the moment we're looking at developing our own solution, which is therefore, at the moment we resell other vendors' solutions. So we have a good, strong network there. We're looking at developing our own solution and have been doing for the last 3 years. But I think future-wise, an SEO person told me all these years ago, like when I first started in 2014, it's like, there's always a slice of the pizza for everybody. So don't be afraid that just because you're in the backup business and there's many people doing it, that you're not going to get customers. The future is always be customers. There'll always be small businesses wanting services. There'll always be people eventually that you'll find, or you'll find them. So the future is always, don't worry, customers will come, customers will grow. And the industry that we're in data backup, data, as we know, is getting bigger. Everyone's going cloud. Everyone's data size is increasing. So the market is potentially always huge.
You just need your slice of it, right?
Exactly. And the slice of the pizza just depends on how much you want it. Work harder and hey, get more of the pizza, basically.
Nice message. What's inspiring you personally most now?
I think it's just the flexibility of the entrepreneurship model as a whole. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. People who have 9-to-5 jobs, nothing against it. They like it. They go into work, they do the thing and come back. And that's not for everybody. Some people want to be controlled. I mean, I don't mind, sending an email at midnight, for example, if I have to. There's no issue with that. I think it's just on people's, what do they want to achieve in life? Are they happy just to kind of go prod along, which is fine. Like I said, there's no issue. Or do they want that extra risk, extra flexibility? So I think that's what motivates me, just to I kind of compare it to an Uber driver. I mean, you can work when you want, how you want. So it's a bit like that model that I follow.
Okay, so you value autonomy and freedom and flexibility.
And flexibility, yeah. But of course, that comes with risks and challenges and sacrifices as well. So
Yeah.
even though it's good to say, oh, I'm flexible, I'll work, 6 to 9 on one day and 10 to 2 the other day, that,
Yeah.
there's still sacrifices to be made to be able to do that. So people have to be prepared for that. It's not a question of, oh, I'm going to decide to work 3 hours a day and that's it. No, to go work that 3 hours a day, people wouldn't realize that you worked 100 hours the previous week. It's a fine balance there.
Okay, great. So in terms of your business and taking it to the next level and scaling it up, what are the most important things for you to focus on and address?
The most important thing is to get resellers in more different regions around the world. When I say that, I'm talking about emerging markets like South America, the Middle East, India, Asia to some extent. It's the emerging markets, because what I'm finding, or what I'm seeing especially, is these markets, there are solutions in place over there, but they're not as recognized, or there's a need for more, especially now everything is cost related. So the solutions that we have are mirror kind of the requirements of the emerging markets. I'm not saying the Western markets are fully saturated. All I'm saying is there's so much potential in the emerging markets outside of the Western world. So that's really our focus, and that's how we're going to be scaling over the next, obviously this year and the years to come.
Very good, very good. So just changing tack a little bit, what's the advice you'd give to anyone starting out in business?
Yeah, I would say do your research, do your research on the type of customers that you could acquire, and also do your research on if what you're starting is actually kind of worth starting. It sounds a bit silly from what I just said, oh, there's a slice of the pizza for everybody, but there is some kind of research needed. You can't sort of blindly go into something without knowing anything about it. Get some feedback, speak to family, friends, say, oh, listen, I've got this idea. What do you think? There's nothing wrong with criticism, nothing wrong with people telling you, oh, this is not a good idea, don't do this, because then you can pivot and look at something else. So I would say do a bit of research first, even if you get 1 or 2 or 5 pieces or 10 pieces of sort of golden hooks that people are like, yeah, this is good, then pursue that. But I would say do that first before you kind of full blown go into anything.
Okay. And have you got any advice for your 18-year-old self?
Yeah, take it slowly. If I look at myself all those years ago, I won't say how many years ago, I would say at that time I was always looking at the destination. I was never looking at enjoying the journey. So now it's the reverse. I would say take it easy, enjoy what you're doing, and then the end goal will come.
Lovely. So thanks so much for that. If anybody wants to get in touch with you or find out more, what's the best place?
Yeah, they can just go to our website, backupeverything.co.uk.
Amazing. Thanks so much for your time. Great job.